Well, let's just jump right into it. It's been a very busy week for Katie Joy. Every day I was like, oh, I'll make a video because I was so upset about what she was saying. And then the next day she'd do something else and I'd be like, oh, I'll wait and put that in the video. And then the next day she'd do something else. It's been a crazy week. She's been very busy. I'm going to try to take these in order how they happened this week. The first big thing was Janelle Evans Eason and her big drama with Katie Joy. This really upset me. You can like Janelle or hate her. That's okay. She is a public figure. I get it. But what Katie did was very wrong. First of all, Janelle is obviously a victim of domestic violence. This is never funny. This is never something to make money off of. This is a real situation. I have had friends in the past that were in relationships like this. I tried to help them get out. I know it's been said that it takes a woman 7 to 8 times to leave an abuser. I have found that to be very true, and sometimes it's 10 times before they leave. I don't pretend to understand it because I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist. So for Katie to bring this drama with her, in my opinion, is just wrong again. Again, she's not an advocate for women. She's not an advocate for women of domestic violence, obviously. Just because Janelle is a public figure doesn't make her pain any less than any other woman's pain. What's really shady to me when she released those private messages, I want to emphasize private. You can see how she pretends to be Janelle's friend, and she pretends to want to help her. And I feel so bad that Janelle fell for it. I feel like reading those messages, Janelle was so lonely and so in need of a friend. And it just makes me sad because I'm reading them thinking, don't trust Katie Joy, don't trust her, don't do it. And she did it. She trusted her. She gave her information. Katie Joy, of course, says in the messages, this is off the record. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to use it. Then Janelle tells her what she can use, what she can't use, because she thinks Katie's her ally, right? Which Katie is not an ally to anybody but herself. So it's really sad to me to see this happening in these messages. And then Katie thinks it's kind of cute and funny, and she's going to post these. And okay, so let's go back to Katie saying she's a journalist, which is just so laughable. A real journalist would never give up their source. Journalists go to jail over this because they won't give up a source. Katie puts in her video, yeah, I said it was off the record, so what? Now it's on the record. This is what I keep telling people. There's no credibility here. She's just, it just makes me sick. Like I said, you can like Janelle or not, but what she did to Janelle was wrong, 1,000 times wrong. That other thing I thought was funny, though, is if you watch that video she made where she's just going crazy on this tangent against Janelle, and she's using the F word, she's using all this slang like she's all hip and cool, but she's dropping F-bombs like every other word. And I was like, holy cow, here's the real Katie Joy, you guys. Here she is in all her glory. You know, I read something years ago that said people that use a lot of profanity is because their vocabulary is so limited. So they can't express themselves without using a lot of profanity. And that's all I could think of watching that video. That, and I think she's trying to act really hip and cool. And she's just not. I mean, I don't try to act hip and cool because I know I'm not. But it gets me when she does this and tries to act like she's part of that age group or whatever. It's just ridiculous. I think Janelle probably grew up with a lot of abuse in her family. I'm not trying to put her mom down, but if you go back to early episodes, you can clearly see that's a dysfunctional family. I don't know the whole story with her mom and stuff, but like I said, I always felt like she grew up in a very dysfunctional family. So it's no surprise to me that she keeps picking men that are not good for her. I mean, this is just a pattern that some women can't get out of, and I hope and pray Janelle gets out of it. I think she's getting close. I think it's got to be an awful lonely life. And then when you think this big blogger person is your friend and they're going to help you, and then they stab you in the back. Because again, there isn't anything Katie Joy won't do for a nickel. Then that brings us to the whole Grace report thing. I don't want to go into it too much because it's just another disgusting thing of Katie. But Katie tried to bring race into it. Grace never did. She never brought that up. And I feel like if she thought that was true, she would have brought it up. So it wasn't Katie's place to bring that up. It's just not. I feel like that's her virtue signaling. She keeps trying to act like she's this great person and she's going to stick up for Grace. I'm pretty sure I've heard back a long time ago her say some not nice things about Grace. But anyway, I digress. It wasn't her place to do that. That's Grace's place. If she feels like that's what Janelle was doing, she'll take it up with her. Not your fight, Katie. Now we go to her posting her video about her assault. I have such conflicted feelings on this because I never don't want to believe somebody. But it does seem suspect that she posts that after all the controversy she caused with a young minor girl, which I'm not going to say her name because I'm not trying to get clout off that. There's enough people doing that, and I'm not going to be one of them. So I feel like she was trying to rehabilitate her image. She had made so many people mad, so I think she thought by releasing this story of hers that she would get these people back into her corner and get her views back up or whatever. The big thing to me is, too, the way her whole affect during that video is so off. It's just very weird. And I get people laugh and giggle when they're nervous, and I do think she was nervous, given that story. But there's many things in the story that don't add up. Again, I'm not going to say she wasn't assaulted. Something happened to her, and, I never want that for anybody. But a lot of things just didn't add up in the story. And then the whole thing of her naming the whole family's businesses, and the way she laughs when people in her chat are saying, oh, we're posting reviews on their business, we're going after them. And she's like, oh, don't do that. Laugh, laugh, laugh. She obviously wanted that to happen. I was just really shocked when I saw that. And then when she went after one of her own members who was trying to warn her that you can't just throw these businesses and other people into this that had nothing to do with her assault, that, she was putting herself up to be sued. And she takes that woman to task, puts her in chat timeout, which is ridiculous. I didn't even know there was a chat timeout. How silly is that? And this poor woman was just trying to help her. She was giving her very good advice. And yet Katie makes fun of her, ignores her, and puts her in timeout. I can't fathom why her followers don't see this and think to themselves, okay, I need to get away from this woman. This stuff's not right. So then something must have happened, because now the videos are privatized. They're gone. She scrubbed all of her tweets about it, and then she posts a fake apology. It says, FYI, this family had nothing to do with it. These businesses had nothing to do with this. Let me read it. It says, have let me know they are not affiliated with Nick and he does not work for them. These organizations are not associated with rape. They also state that they don't support Nick financially. I apologize for any inconvenience this has caused. Thanks. Inconvenience. It's a lot more than an inconvenience when you have people going after these businesses for something that they had nothing to do with, probably didn't know nothing about. I just can't even imagine what these people have gone through. Now, I don't know if there's a lawsuit or not, but something definitely happened to make her take that stuff down. Honestly, I was shocked because she always says she's got these attorneys of hers on speed dial. She supposedly has two. So you think she would have gone over it with them before she released this story. And I would think any attorney worth his salt would have said, don't name any businesses, don't name the rest of his family. I mean, to me, that's just common sense. You don't even need a degree to know that. I mean, that's just some crazy stuff there. But her fake apology is really not an apology at all. And I don't know if the family's going to accept that. My feeling is they probably will and move on because they don't want to keep it going. If they sue her, it will keep this going. And it will keep it in the news. And so I can kind of get why they wouldn't. But she needs to be responsible for what she's putting out there. I keep saying this. You are responsible for what you put out in the universe. So this brings us to, I don't even know why she did this. She posts on Twitter about somebody leaving a bad review for the movie Cuties and put some other stupid stuff with it. Obviously, she has not seen the movie. If she has seen the movie and she still said this, then she's even worse than I thought. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt that she has not watched that movie. Because nobody could watch that movie and not think that's a pedophile's movie. I know YouTube doesn't like it when we use that word. But that's what it is. And what's really concerning to me is that was directed by a woman. Man, that makes it even worse in my opinion. But you can't be throwing stuff out there without even looking at what you're talking about. But that's the Katie Joy method. She's done this over and over where she talks about all the research she does. She doesn't research anything. She Googles it and whatever she finds, that's what she makes a video about. It's disgusting. I don't know how anybody could look at the Cuties movie and think that's not an exploitation of minor girls. The girls in the movie are 11, 12, and 13. It's ironic that the movie said it's to show the sexual exploitation of girls, and then it exploits girls. Just one of the worst things I've ever seen. It makes me so sad that it's going to continue playing. Netflix also now I like Netflix. I just think they need to take this movie off there. Their first poster for Cuties, people threw a fit because it was very sexually suggestive. So they took that one down and put it back up, the kind of generic one with the girls running up the street. So yeah, Netflix knew what they're doing. They know sex sells, unfortunately. And even sex with little girls sells. It's just sickening. We all need to keep throwing a fit about this stuff and just tell the world we're not doing it. Our little girls are not going to be treated like this. So that brings me to the last story about the minor little girl. I really don't want to use her name because I just don't want to do that. I'm not going to get into all that. I just want to focus on what Katie did. So y'all know she said that she was never going to make another video about her and she was bowing out of this whole thing. Well, we all knew that wasn't going to last. We all knew that wasn't true. So now she's already made another video. She never can even stand by her own words, obviously. I don't know why she doesn't just stay out of it because she keeps getting a lot of backlash for it. But here's the thing, and Katie jokes about this a lot, is she gets hater views. And hater views pay her the same as a fan view. And I think, unfortunately, she probably gets more hater views than she does fan views. So we all need to keep that in mind. There's ways, well, I don't want to say that because I'll probably get in trouble. I have to be kind of careful. But there's ways where you can not give her views. There's always recaps by other people or other ways to do it. Katie, she keeps saying she's an advocate of children, an advocate of women. She's not an advocate for anything but herself. And I think this story with the little girl is probably going to go a lot worse with her. She took some innuendo and rumors off Facebook and made a whole video about them when there's no proof of anything. And this is what I keep saying. You can't keep making videos with no proof. And here's what I find really ironic is she demands proof of what this minor child went through, saying that no medical records have been shown, yada, yada. But she has shown no proof of hers either. And I don't think anybody has to. Unless they want to, I don't think anybody should be ever forced to show that kind of stuff because that's personal, it's private, it's not for the world to see. But why is she holding this young little girl to a higher standard than she holds herself? Think about that. I mean, it's just typical Katie Joy and the hypocrisy of what she does every single day and almost every single video. That's about it for today. I've just been so upset. It's been quite the week with Katie Joy. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And I hope you all have a wonderful day.